Hey, I just want to show you right now how to save and export your project in Illustrator so that you can get all the points that you need to for this project. So we're going to check out first the assignment for this project. Vector Illustration, Graphic Design 1. You've probably done most of this stuff at this point if you're ready to watch this. So I just want to look at the bottom of this assignment, and it says what kinds of files that I want to get from you and how to save those so that you can send them to me. So it asks for actually 4 things. First, it asks for a SVG, then it asks for a PDF with printer marks, then it asks for a JPEG and a PNG, and those are all different types of files. Those are all file extensions. These two you can make by going to Save As, and these two you can make by going to Export within Illustrator. So we're going to try to make some files with names like this, with file extensions like SVG, PDF, JPEG, and PNG. Very good? Alright, let's try it. So we're in Illustrator right now, and let's assume that your project is about done. You just need to make some files that you can send in and get credit for them. Here is the first one. We'll go to File and Save As. I told you first to make a SVG like this. SVG, Scalable Vector Graphic. It'll open in programs like Illustrator to edit, but you can also open it in web browsers. You can put it into your website, all kinds of different stuff like that. Now, before I start saving these, I'm going to make sure that they're going into a good place. So I think for this, I'm going to make a new folder on the desktop. So I'll call this folder SpongeBockIllustration, SpongeBob Illustration. I also want to use the artboards, if at all possible, because I did draw outside of the artboards. You can see in a few different places on this project. That's not information that I want to keep. So I'm going to use the artboards. It'll cut all of those vector graphic shapes out so we don't keep those. Going to save. And there's not a lot to change over here. I usually don't change anything when I'm making a vector graphic. Now, one thing that will happen when we do this, one thing that will happen that you'll notice is it's made a other file for everything on this image that is a rastered effect. And there are actually a lot of rastered effects on this. That means it's something that your computer is saving that's not a vector file or a vector shape. And everything that I did with a gradient map on this is making its own small PNG within the folder that we sent this to. So we're going to go check it out. This is actually all the stuff that we saved. Yours probably won't have this many PNG files. These are each of the things in my project that were raster information. So that means it's a bitmap instead of a vector shape. And I actually did a lot of those on this. Yours probably won't have all of these. Your mileage may vary. Did you see that one? That's SpongeBob's tongue. This is SpongeBob's kind of body shape. There's his mouth. There's some background stuff. The main file, the SVG, is not going to open in Preview, but it will open in something like a web browser. There it goes. Same thing. Thing I just made open in Google Chrome. The next item that it wants me to make is a PDF with all printer marks. So I'll show you how to do that. This is also a file and a save as, except this time we're changing to Adobe PDF, and it uses the artboards automatically. It's going into the same place. Vector Illustration SpongeBob.pdf is going to be the name. And this time, we're saving a PDF, so we get some different controls. This one asks you to make all the printer marks. So the only thing I really need to change in my PDF controls is where it says marks and bleeds. I need to turn on all the printer's marks, including the trim marks, registration marks, which help line up different colors, the color bars, which test and make sure that we're printing all of those colors of ink, and page information, which will say the name of the file. So we turned on all of the marks and bleeds, all of the printer marks. Saving as a PDF right now. And you'll be able to see in just a second what that PDF looks like. So this PDF is open in preview right now, and you can see that it has registration marks that line up all the different printed pieces. It has all of the colors of ink separated out so that you can see if it's printing those correctly. It has the information about this project. It also has cut lines. Pretty cool, huh? If you sent this off to a professional printer, this is the type of file that you would need to send them. The other two files that we need to make are both in export. And so I'm hitting export. Right now I have a JPEG ready to go, but I want to make, before that, a PNG, a portable network graphic. This one I also want to use the artboards. PNGs are good to put on the internet. PNGs can support transparency around objects, but this doesn't really have that. I still want you to know how to make it though. So have controls over my PNG right here. Usually have you make things that are 300 pixels per inch unless there's a reason to keep it small. Hitting OK. It's making the PNG. Might take a second because it has to think about every pixel. The next file that I need you to make is an export, and we're changing this one to a JPEG, Joint Professional Engineers Group. This one we have to tell it to use the artboards. JPEGs are a little more compressed and they can only be rectangles. And if we're printing this, we're probably going to use either the PDF or the JPEG. So I'm keeping this one in CMYK mode. Larger file is usually good, although if you need to make a small JPEG to go on the internet and not take up much space, that's something that you might consider. Hitting OK. So we've exported and saved all of these, and they're all in this one folder. These are the 4 main files right here. These ones are just all associated with the SVG. So it's individual PNGs that make all of the rastered parts of that SVG able to view. So there you go. If all you saw in your file that you're sending me is these 4 things, then you pretty much got it cool. If you got some extra PNGs, that's cool too. But I think that you would send me the folder that has all of those things in it, and I think that you would be great if you did that, right? Any questions? What is your question, sir?
Does the SVG have to move with those PNGs along with it?
In order for it to open up. Otherwise, you can look at the SVG and it has a bunch of question marks on it. And it says, where is this? I don't know. So yeah, you do want to keep those together if you're sending something like that. And it's mostly just so you can open it up in Illustrator or a similar program. Thanks for listening. Yay!